I think if you're like us pilgrims, you're watching a lot of the news, you're following things on social media.
The world is changing rapidly.
It can be a little intimidating. And I'm starting to think more and more, when this is all done and the dust settles, we're going to be living in a different world. There's going to be some foundational changes that come as a result of what has been occurring the last few weeks, and I think what is going to continue to occur for the next few weeks.
And with my health coach lens on, I've been watching these videos going around of how to properly wash your hands. And I thought, yeah, I've been in and out of public restrooms with watching other people do their hand wash when they come out of a stall.
Yeah.
It is not adequate. And the best one I just saw is this video with someone wearing white gloves and using a black gel for the soap and showing what the normal pattern of washing hands. The gloves are mostly all white, and just a little bit soap is covered.
Oh.
I was shocked.
It's a big learning curve.
Yeah, it is.
I was listening to Russell Brand, one of his podcasts he's been doing lately on YouTube, and he always has such a great insight onto things. And he was just admitting that he was a little naive and actually a little flippant with this whole coronavirus. And if I'm honest, I was a little bit that way myself. I would wear the mask around Hong Kong, the surgical mask, but it was more of deference to the culture. Deep down, I was kind of thinking, this isn't really helping a whole lot. Increasingly, I've been being educated into what's really occurring here. And I was just reading an article, and not one of these weird articles that are just floating around social media where someone's got a remedy for it by blow drying your throat or something. This was like CDC stuff and World Health Organization saying that the coronavirus is much more contagious and infectious than SARS was, than H1N1 was, than swine flu was, than the regular flu is. This is a highly contagious disease that exists on surfaces for a number of hours, and that's why it's important to disinfect. It's important to wash your hands regularly. I definitely, like I
not
mentioned,
touch your face.
Not touch your face, which is hard.
Everybody's
Sometimes
realizing how much you do it.
Touch your face, yeah. And so we've got hand sanitizer in the house. We
have a station just to help you out. We have a station when you come in where there's alcohol spray by the front door, so you can spray the handle, spray your hands, take off your shoes, leave them on a mat because we can't put an outside mat.
She's got it sorted.
Then we have a station, and this has been a progression because I keep hearing other things, and I'm like, oh wow. So the phone. So they said, I've heard doctors say, forget the mask. People clean your phones.
Yes.
Your hands are handling it, and it's a surface thing. It's not an airborne thing unless you're in contact with someone and they spray on you. So your phone, you're touching things. You're touching your phone. I go in the grocery store, I try not to touch things I don't need to now. But still, my grocery list is on there. We're handling it all the time, so we have to take off the case, wipe it.
I don't know about you, but
disinfect.
my core is going to be really so much stronger when this is over because I'm not holding onto rails in the MTR, on the bus.
We travel on public transport
going
here.
Up the escalator, I'm not holding on to the handrails. I'm going to have it. This whole coronavirus is going to do wonders for my core, but.
We have to look at the positive.
Yeah, because we don't have a lot of positive right now. We just canceled. Many of you know that really the foundation of this podcast and this YouTube channel is learning to live life as a pilgrimage. And it was really...
It was birthed in your heart on a Camino.
Yeah, on the Camino de Santiago. And obviously, longtime listeners know that I've participated, and Tammy increasingly has joined me on long-distance pilgrimages. And we were planning for the last few months to, on April 2nd, fly to London, meet my parents there, spend a couple days in London because I have to get my London fix. It's the only city that I possibly love more than Hong Kong. I shouldn't say that because Hong Kong has been my home for so many years, but there's something about London that just, I think for both of us, it puts the juice in my batteries. It's a wonderful city. And so we're going to do a couple days there, and then all of us were flying to Porto to spend a couple days and then do the 2-week Camino Portuguese.
That would be our start.
That's it. A 14-day walk up and ending at the Cathedral in Santiago. And really, I've been counting down the days.
The church with the big swingy thing.
The church with the big swingy thing, as
Ethan
would say. And obviously, increasingly, it became apparent that this is just not going to happen until... A couple days ago, we were like, no, this, with what's going on in the world, we put the kibosh on it. And,
just to add to that, part of the reasoning, our daughter went off to Indonesia for her holiday. And after about a week and a half, she came down with the flu or just some terrible symptoms, ended up in hospital. She was tested, spent the whole day there. It came back negative for COVID-19.
Doesn't have it.
But then she had to recover, and we had to get her back on a flight to Hong Kong.
There's still regular diseases and viruses out there too.
Yes, and she had something bacterial. So anyhow, she was recovering well. Fever went away, and after a couple days, she was able to get on a flight with a mask.
Yep.
And now she's in home quarantine.
Yeah, Hong Kong has implemented.
So that's affected our household again on yet another level.
Yeah, Hong Kong implemented this week 14 days of self-quarantine for everyone entering the city.
And with everything that's exploded in the world, people that had left Hong Kong initially to get away because it started in Asia now see that Hong Kong's a very safe place. Over all these months, we kept our numbers just over 100. But now there's this influx of students returning back, and maybe
over 60
people with young children that had left, and now they want to come here because it's safer here. There's been countless cases, and we've doubled that number.
Yeah, so
and it's going up.
over 60,000 students and
returned back.
And Gabriel is still in Manchester, England, sitting
I
in
know
a house
he's not
by
watching
himself.
this.
No, it's not like our 22-year-old son is watching Mom and Dad's YouTube channel. But
yeah, he stayed behind. He's the only one in his flat, and we're talking him through it.
But as disappointed as we are about our trip and our pilgrimage being canceled, actually that's just going to be postponed, and that really pales in comparison to a lot of the hurt and pain that many people are suffering. We're seeing businesses collapse. We're seeing financial systems gutted. Personally, I've seen friends on Facebook, people who depend on, music gigs or the hospitality industry or hotels or just a myriad of different service-orientated professions. They're gone. Nobody's going out, and this is going to be really devastating. So I think it's really incumbent on us pilgrims that if we're going to live a life as a pilgrimage, that when the tough times come, when the blisters come in our life, that we've got to be prepared for them. And like any time of crisis, it really reveals people's hearts, and it's an opportunity. What I find is we're seeing all these viral videos of people fighting over toilet paper and things like this. We see in times of crisis and challenge, sometimes the bad gets worse, but what's beautiful is the good get better. And you see all these YouTube sharing viral videos of people who are stepping up to help the elderly, stepping up to help people in their neighborhoods, trying to reach out. Recently, I knew of a colleague that had elderly parents that contracted coronavirus here in the city, and I offered, although they had other people that they could besides me, but I made sure that they understood I'm happy to get them supplies. I communicated that to them, and I think it's just incumbent for us as pilgrims that we're really trying to look for an opportunity in this time to show compassion, kindness, and this could be,
it's time to step up.
Yeah, this could be actually a beautiful time where we are maybe can put away the materialism and the distractions. And now we're stuck with family inside all day. And
that's a good cue.
Oh,
Steve pulled this out. I think he wants to talk about it.
Hey, pilgrims, if you're done watching yet more Netflix, even before this whole thing started, Tammy and I were trying to get more into tabletop board games, getting the family around a table.
I think at Christmas we went out to a store together.
Yeah, we did, and we bought this. This was my Christmas gift, and it's Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. Inside are 10 cases that you can solve. Husbands with your wives, moms
together,
and dads
you work
with your
together.
kids. It's a collaborative game, like Tammy said. It is so much fun. It has. Let me pull some of this out.
Oh my gosh! So each case takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how long you want to keep continuing and looking for every clue, or if you're ready to.
It has
make
maps.
Your judgment.
It has clue books. It has
directories of addresses you need to go check out.
Look. It has
newspapers.
Every case has a newspaper from London in the 1800s that's just chock full of clues. You're not going to feel.
So somebody's reading the newspaper, and then you're passing that around, and you're rereading the clues to the case you were given.
Tammy, tell them how well we've done.
Well, we haven't won one yet.
No,
Yeah.
we have not
They
solved
give you
the
points
case.
at the end when you open up.
There's different things you can
answers.
gather. There's no like one
Sherlock
thing to find.
always does it better.
Yes, you're basically pitching against Sherlock to see if you can do it better than he can, and we can't. But there are moments where we really walk away thinking we figured something out,
And we're getting better.
We're getting better. All right. So consider a board game. We've got a couple others that we're going to try. This is a great opportunity, Pilgrims, for you to draw close to your family. Jokes aside, pull up a chair, turn off the TV. You're stuck in the house. Play a game together. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we're ready for our episode now. We want to just encourage you still to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on wherever you're listening to.
Hey, and send us a message because we've got a new email, pilgrims@stevehackman.net. That's really easy to remember. Remember, just pilgrims@stevehackman.net. Send us a little review, send us a little comment, send us something you'd love us to cover in the future, any suggested guests we could have, anything, or just tell us, hey,
I'm listening.
I'm listening. Enjoy this show. Really, whenever we get these kind of messages from folks, it really puts the wind in our sails. You can also follow me on Instagram. Look for Stephen Hackman, as well as on Twitter. I'm trying to get Tammy on Instagram. We will get her there eventually. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see increasingly new changes coming to the YouTube channel. We're going to be developing that. Not that we're getting rid of the podcast in any stretch, just expanding beyond the pale and becoming the Pilgrims, helping you see life and faith through the lens of pilgrimage.